Helen Adams Keller was born on June 27, 1880, in Tuscumbia, Alabama, USA, and passed away on June 1, 1968, in Westport, Connecticut, in the early 20th century. She became one of the most famous women globally. Excelling as a writer, a film about her life won 2 Oscars, and U.S. presidents sought her advice for over 60 years. Keller lost her sight and hearing at 19 months due to an illness, possibly scarlet fever. Alexander Graham Bell, a family friend, had her examined, and a 20-year-old teacher from the Perkins School for the Blind in Boston, and Sullivan Macy, was sent to help. Sullivan remained with Keller from March 1887 until her death in October 1936. Sullivan's first action with young Helen was taking her to a water pump when water flowed over Keller's hand. Sullivan spelled the word water into her hand. On that day, Keller learned 30 words. Within months, she grasped the concept of associating objects with written words through finger spelling on her palm, reading raised words on cardboard, and constructing her sentences. From 1888 to 1890, Keller spent winters at Perkins School learning Braille. She started the slow process of learning to speak under the guidance of Sarah Fuller from Horace Mann School for the Deaf. In Boston, Keller also learned lip reading by placing her fingers on the lips and throat of the speaker while simultaneously spelling the words. At 14, she enrolled in the Wright Hugh Mason School for the Deaf in New York City, and at 16, she joined the Cambridge School for Young Ladies in Massachusetts. Keller was accepted into Radcliffe College in 1900, graduating with honors in 1904. Becoming the first deafblind person to graduate from Radcliffe, a part of Harvard University. Helen Keller continued her education not only in English, but also in French, German, Greek, and Latin. She became an advocate for the blind and deaf, pushing for Braille books availability in libraries by influencing Congress to change the law. Keller's efforts to improve the treatment of the blind and deaf led to the closure of asylums for the disabled, and she encouraged the formation of committees for the blind in 30 states by 1937. She wrote numerous books about her life and social issues such as racial segregation, women's suffrage, and class struggle, which gained worldwide recognition. Her books faced controversy during the Nazi book burnings, marking them as dangerous. In World War II, she campaigned for accepting refugees fleeing fascism in America, spending the war visiting army hospitals to alleviate the wounded's pain. Keller co-founded the American Civil Liberties Union in 1920 with civil rights activist Roger Nash Baldwin, which still protects workers' rights today, opposing extrajudicial executions, supporting the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People (NAACP), and endorsing birth control. Keller was a multifaceted advocate. Her writings and activities significantly contributed to raising awareness of disabilities worldwide during a time when the rights and treatment of disabled individuals were lacking. The portrayal of Keller's childhood with Sullivan was dramatized in William Gibson's play The Miracle Worker in 1959. Winning a Pulitzer Prize in 1960, it was later adapted into a film in 1962, receiving 2 Oscars. When Keller passed away at the age of 87 on June 1, 1968, it was said in her eulogy that she could see and hear with a sharpness and clarity exceptional. Helen Keller once stated, "Rarely do I think of my limitations, and they never make me sad. Perhaps there is just a touch of yearning at times, but it is vague, like a breeze among flowers, something not quite spoken." Her legacy lives on through the foundation named after her. Since 1915, providing treatment for diseases causing blindness and visual impairment. A deafblind woman wins a legal suit against the British government for the absence of sign language in media broadcasts. "I found myself compelled to tell my father that he was dying." In 1964, President Lyndon Johnson awarded Keller the Presidential Medal of Freedom in recognition of her courage and determination. Keller became a global symbol for children overcoming any obstacle. In the U.S. Capitol, there is a bronze statue of 7-year-old Keller at the water pump where she learned her first word.